Welcome, everybody. I am your host, Kamil Sargi, and this is Just 2 Minutes. Today I have Mike. Mike, you want to tell us about yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Mike Bucci. I'm a builder, home builder, custom home builder. Have been basically my whole life, starting as a little kid, working for my dad when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, through into the current age right now, which I won't tell. I've been in this business. I'm born and raised in Rhode Island. I built in Rhode Island, various areas with my dad, and then few of my own things. And then I moved out to Scottsdale, Arizona, and I built out in Scottsdale and Phoenix for a number of years. I moved back to Rhode Island. It's a little over 5 years ago now to take care of my elderly parents. And I've been building, a house or two here or there since I've been back.
Awesome. And you're here so we can talk about home building. I mean, I don't think I've talked about it much in my podcast, but before that, I have my timer here for the Just 2 Minutes questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm a really good storyteller. I've been since I was a kid. What was your favorite story when you were a kid?
Story when I was a kid.
Or a book, or...
Oh, you mean like, oh boy. Interesting. My favorite story as a kid. I can't remember that far back.
Actually, you know what? Let's create a story right now.
All right.
Okay? So you just complete the blanks, all right? An orange, apple, and pear look at each other and say...
I don't know, where are we going?
And then they started walking towards the gym. They open a door, walk in, and they pick up...
A banana.
And then this happens.
They make a fruit salad.
Then they shake hands, wipe the sweat on their forehead, and walk towards the door and say...
That was interesting.
The gym owner runs out and says, "Hold on, before you leave, I have to give you this."
Oh boy. I have to give your pay.
A what?
Pay, your money.
What? I have to give you your money. And I also have a free membership. They all walked towards the sunrise, holding hands and looking at the...
Sun.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I can't wait to hear what this is about.
So what'd you think? 2-minute questions.
What did I think of the 2-minute questions? Something different. I wasn't expecting something like this.
Yeah, I know. Me neither. It's wild. Okay. All right. So back to planet Earth. And enough about the gym with these.
With the fruit.
With the fruits. Yeah.
I'm hungry now, though.
So I want to talk about, well, first thing, you got inspired to do what you did because you did that with your dad. You built.
Yeah, I was born into it, raised into it. It wasn't an option actually as a child. I had to go to work. My dad got me up out of bed on Saturday mornings. All my friends went out and played, and I went to work and did that until I was old enough to say, I don't want to do this anymore. Basically, through high school, I worked high school, college, and in between semesters of school, summers, I worked on the jobs. I mean, I'm grateful because I learned a business. I learned the trades and I learned a business. It wasn't always what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, but I mean, it turned into being a career for me,
Yeah.
and something that I've enjoyed doing. And there's a lot of satisfaction when you're done with a home and the people move into it and you see something come out of the ground from nothing to being completed, and people are moving their things in, and how excited everybody is for a brand new home. It's a lot of there's a lot of reward in that.
And I
Pleasure.
bet, like, in your early 20s, you had way more experience than someone else in their early 20s who's just, getting into this or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I started as a child. I mean, 8, 9, 10 years old, I'm on a job site sweeping up, cleaning up. One of the first jobs I had, this is, before they had nail guns and things like that. They were, my father, who was an old school Italian builder who, saves every penny. One of my first jobs was sweeping everything, all the sawdust and pieces of scrap wood and nails that the carpenters would bend, and I had to sort out the nails. And then I'm 9, 10 years old, and I had to straighten out the nails
Oh, wow.
and put them back in the box so they could be reused in the house.
Wow.
We didn't throw them out.
Yeah.
Things like that. Pieces of wood, anything that was larger than 10 to 12 inches went into a pile, and everything was. The scrap was recycled. My father was recycling before we even knew what recycling was. He just did it on the job, so I learned it. That's what I learned. And that's what I started doing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I started with that onto ending up being the general contractor and contracting and building 10,000 square foot multi-million-dollar houses.
Wow.
Some on the sides of mountains in Scottsdale, Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow.
So
all that, like, is that what got you, I'm assuming already, is that what got you to be organized in, like, how you do things with a home, or you did your own thing?
No, I mean,
evolved?
I learned a lot from my dad. And then working with my dad, it was his way. There was no other ways. It was his way. You did it his way. And then when I went into my own operation, I took a lot of what made sense and worked. And I also put my own, self into the projects and the way to do business, how I interacted with the subcontractors, the clients, the customers, the suppliers. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, it just came naturally, I guess.
Yeah. I think we do that as parents. We take what we learned from our parents on how to be a parent, and we do it in another spin. Like, we still use some of those parenting skills, but we modify it to make it ours. So it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the industry has changed a lot. I mean, at its core, it's the same, but it's changed. Like I was saying, now everyone's nail guns.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still
Fast.
hammer and nails, but back then it was all hammer and nails.
Yeah.
When you put a deck down the floor of a house, we had to, you put all the plywood down, and then you would nail it, one nail at a time. Now you just shoot the nails, and so it's a lot faster now. It's a lot different. It's more, technology has automated a lot of things and sped things up, and
a lot, right?
A lot of things.
A lot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, framing up a room is way faster with the nail gun than with the hammer.
Oh, 100%.
So that, helped builders increase the amount of homes that they can be done with. Wow.
Yeah, and now today, the big production builders that we don't really have them here in Rhode Island, but the big production builders across the United States, these, publicly traded companies that build massive subdivisions, all these homes are being fabricated in factories, and everything's just being assembled on the job. It's getting into, there's manufactured homes, which we all kind of know as trailer homes and that kind of thing. Those are called manufactured homes, but almost, all the production track homes are all being built now in buildings and assembled on the jobs. When my father started, like cabinets now, everybody goes and buys cabinets. They're built and made.
Yeah.
They used to build it. My dad, when he started, they used to build all the cabinets on the job. That was part of building the house.
Wow.
The doors come already pre-hung. You just nail them in. They used to have to, rabbet out the hinges and they had to make the door work on the job.
Wow.
So,
And it's way
technology
cheaper
brings.
than now. Like, if you had it built versus buying, that's
Yeah, from that
so
perspective, things are cheap. Of course, the cost of the materials keeps going up and the labor goes up.
yeah.
But yeah, the processes are a lot more advanced, and you can do more quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. So in Phoenix, do they like their way of building versus here? Do they use lumber there?
Oh yeah, of course, all the homes are framed.
Yeah.
Lumber. I mean, there are some homes that are masonry. Some homes are steel constructed with steel studs. Those are usually some really big. I mean, I did one home that was a super contemporary home, all glass, and
Wow.
and that was all commercial grade steel studs. That was a different home, but almost all of them are still residential. Are
Yeah.
stick built wood.
We were watching a video on these 3D printed homes. Have you seen the videos
Oh,
of how
yeah.
they make it?
That's
It's
a
like
whole.
toothpaste. The cement is like a toothpaste. It just
That's
goes
a whole other world that's coming in, and AI is getting involved, and this technology, and
in. Pretty amazing. So I mean, that's the next step. Modular homes before it was like, is a fast way to build homes, but goodness, this 3D printing thing.
Well, they work around the clock.
Yeah.
The machine works 24 hours a day if you want it to.
It's amazing.
So, and they're, it's in its elementary stages. I am paying attention to it. It's not something I would wind up doing in my career at this stage of my life. But if I'm 20 years old, 24 years old, or whatever, I'm looking at this and saying, I need to understand this. If I'm going to be in this business, I need to learn this because this is where it's going.
Where do you think we are as far as being able to implement that? Like how many years from now do you think?
Kamil, I have no idea. I mean, it's
crazy though. Like we're getting close to being able to build homes quickly, like quicker and quicker.
Yeah, and more cost efficiently. That's the idea. Is to build it. The idea is to try to keep costs down.
Yeah. As
we all know, the price of housing is so. I mean, it's incredible what homes are selling for, and for kids that are starting, like all my kids are in their late 20s, and it's daunting to think that you're going to somehow be able to own a home. Even in Rhode Island, the median price range home is like $525,000. I mean, that was a retirement home 30 years ago. You sold your $100,000 house to move into a $250,000 house to move into your mansion, which was $500,000, say, maybe 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, it's just a regular house. And they're hard to find, as you know. Because the cost of building is so prohibitive and the regulations are making it worse and everything is it's frustrating. Like I'm about to pull a permit right now and there's a whole new energy program that's been implemented. It's being implemented all over the United States, green energy. And Rhode Island is the first state to actually implement it into its building code where it's required. It just started in February. It's only adding another 20, 30, 25. I mean, I don't know the full end result of it yet, but I'm going to guess it's going to add another $15,000 to $20,000 to the price of the house.
Oh.
Right. Okay. Just so we can say the house is more energy efficient. So that's another $20,000 on the price of things that people are struggling to afford.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
Wow. So they're making this requirements or?
No, they're making us wrap the houses in these different, you have to have certain energy ratings. You have to hit a 10-star energy rating.
But that's becoming the code?
It is the code.
Oh,
It's not becoming, it is. It took effect in February.
Oh, goodness.
It's a national code too. And Rhode Island, and most states, from what I'm understanding, are not really implementing it yet. But Rhode Island is the first state to say it's required, and now the builders are all adjusting to it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know,
So it's
myself included.
So what is it all about? Wrapping the home in a special?
It's about insulating the home to keep, the idea is to make the house more, it's supposed to make it less expensive to heat and air condition. So it's a frustrating subject for me because it just doesn't make sense in the long run to me, but it's the code, and it's all about, energy efficiency.
Yeah. Wow. I get a lot of people who they see land for sale, 80,000, and they're like, okay, I saved up 80,000. I want to buy that, and I want to build a house on it. How difficult is it to buy land and then go through all? Okay, so let's say I bought land. What do I do? Do I work with a builder? Like, do I call you and say, all right, I just bought this land? Because there's a lot of things involved in it. Like, it's not just building.
It starts with buying the land itself. So it's not just buying a piece of land. Okay, I got a heck of a deal. I bought this lot for $50,000 and all the other lots are selling for $200,000, as an example. Well, it's not the cost. Of course, it's how big the land is, the lot, how many square feet the lot is it good views, is it, but it's also about how much it costs to get it to the point of foundation. So one lot could sell for $100,000 and one lot could sell for $50,000. The cost to get this lot ready to put a house on it, maybe $20,000. So now you're in total to bring the foundation up, do excavation, it's $120,000. If this other lot, what did I say, 50,000, and it costs $100,000 to get it to that point, what the $50,000 lot turned out to be more expensive than the $100,000 lot to get to a point to be able to put your house up with the excavation. And maybe you got to deal with, Department of Environmental Management, coastal resource. There's all these different regulations and requirements, ISDS, wetlands, all of that. So the knowledge there's, and most people don't have it, rightly, because why would anybody know all that stuff? A builder will come in, and then sometimes people get fried. I've had this happen to me in the past where I try to tell them, no, this lot. It's like, well, I got a great deal. And I'm like, no, this isn't a great deal. This is expensive to build on. And, it's challenging. And then from a real estate perspective, there are certain, I actually, I do a little real estate and had my real estate broker's license stuff from years back. And I got certified in land sales. So I was able to, when I was in Arizona, not only help people not only help them build a house, but also as the realtor, find them the right lot to build on to achieve what they're looking to achieve at the end in terms of cost and what they're looking to build. So, I would suggest to any realtor that wants to focus on land to take some of those, the classes that NAR has to understand the land game of it, land piece of it, because there's a lot to that.
Definitely.
And then, you design the house. Rightly, you design the house to the lot. Somebody might want to build a colonial on a lot that really a raised ranch is the perfect lot for it. It slips into the lot. If not, it costs a lot more money to get the lot, excavated to the point to build the house. So there's all these dynamics that are involved in trying to cost efficiently build the home that you want.
Yeah.
So, I built some homes out in Arizona where they're multi-million-dollars, and some of these clients, they don't care. Okay, that's going to cost $150,000. I built one house on the side of the mountain. It took us 10 months. We had to cut the excavate the mountain out, it's got these incredible views of Phoenix and everything. It took us 10 months just to be able to pour the foundation.
Wow.
Just to get the lot ready. It's on the side of the mountain, the driveway, it's, but the house is a multi-million-dollar house. When the views are breathtaking.
Wow.
But, they have the money to do it. They spend the money and,
How do you attach it to the mountain?
Well, you cut the mountain out. You have to cut. So the mountain's on an angle. You have to cut the mountain out to slip the house. Well, this particular one, they're all different, but this particular one, that's how it had to be done. We had to cut. So the back of the house, there is a cut in the mountain 28 feet high.
Wow.
So you go out back, straight up 28 feet is the mountain that we excavated out to be able to build the house so they could capture the views.
Wow.
And we had a crane in and almost had a helicopter in the drywall and stuff like that.
Wow.
Because it was so high on the mountain. And there are homes in areas like that where you need helicopters to bring the materials in.
Wow.
So
that's insane. Yeah, because how the heck would you bring? Yeah.
Because you can't get trucks up those hills with that amount of material on it.
Yeah.
So if you can get a crane in, you crane it. If the crane can't make it work, you have to airdrop it in.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and there are, this is, I lived out in Scottsdale and Phoenix, and anyone that's been out there they know what I'm talking. You see the houses on, on the mountainsides and.
So how do you feel about, each city is different. Everybody's different perspective as far as the town inspectors, building, electrical, plumbing inspectors. They're all different. They all have their different personalities. They have their, some are willing to help you work things out. Others are always against what you want to do and try to fight you, and they take it out. Their mission in life seems like, I'm going to stop this from happening, whatever, ego, whatever. So how has it been in your experience with...
All inspectors are great. All inspectors. If you're an inspector, they're all great.
All great. Okay. Boom, we turned off the recording. Now it's just us. Let's talk about...
No, listen, they're doing their jobs.
Yeah.
They all have a different approach to doing the job. They have a code. And that's, as long as you're achieving what the code is, and we're, builders, we want to meet the code. And we're all there, and some can be more of a stickler than others. Rightly so in some cases. There are some that may be a little lax in some ways. But, our job is to appease them, give them what they need and want, and move on to finish the house and get a certificate of occupancy.
Because like you said, the code, there's a code you follow. Okay, it's yes, it has to be this high and whatever, you can't argue that. But some are lenient and say that, and they look past that.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay, no, it's all right.
Because, we work with inspectors where they are, and they're great guys. Most of them are. All of them are. They're all people doing their jobs. They have a different way of doing it. Mm-hmm. And
because they're out there too. They have a business too. They're doing, some are, the electrical inspector is also an electrician.
Some are hired by the towns. They're subcontracted as inspectors. Some are, city or town employees. So,
which that's another topic. I don't know if there's a conflict of interest. Well, hire me to do this, then I'll pass it. I'm sure they can't do that. They can't approve their own work with that town, or maybe they can't do any work in that town. I don't know.
I have no idea how any of that works. So,
so with that said, what if I'm a builder and I'm building, I built a home and I'm having an issue with the town inspector, we're arguing about the code. What does someone do? Is there another level person?
Did you have an incident like this somewhere in the past?
Maybe in the future. Do they go to the mayor? Who, or do you go, is there a state inspector that you can go to and say, hey, listen, I'm having
There's
an
a
issue?
register of contractors. There is a process. But look, there's a code book. And if it's in the code, it's supposed to be done. So if it's not in the code, you can argue. I've never ever gone, I don't know, to be honest, because I've never ended up in that place. I've always figured it out, whatever, if there was a challenge.
If they need something done,
we got
you
it
do
figured out. We got it figured and done, and we moved on. We just kept going.
Yeah.
So I've never, taken an inspector to task or issue beyond him being the inspector on the job. Because there's so many different inspectors and so many different, you just have to just apply the code and, adhere to the code. And that's where the debate is, can be.
But then there's a state level inspector that you can, because that inspector, the town inspector, can't be the judge and jury and be like, nope.
Again, I don't really know because I've never gone. I know there are of course levels you go up. I've never had to do that. I've never even said, "Oh my gosh, how do I handle this guy or gal?" I don't. We just figure it out. Whatever That's been I can only speak from my own experience.
Yeah.
I don't know what other guys do or what other issues.
Yeah. Okay, we can move to the. What's your thoughts about basements?
In terms of
having one, not having one.
Well, here in Rhode Island, so in the Northeast, in the upper Midwest, the basements serve different purposes across the country. Again, I keep referring back to Arizona because I was out there for so long and spent so much time building out there. And it's not only out there, but there's other areas, Florida and the South. And most of the homes are built on slab. They're called slab on grade. There's no basement at all. So the reason basements basically exist is in these cold weather climates. You have to put your footings, you have to get below the frost line to establish a solid ground for your home to sit on so that it doesn't move when we have changes from freezing to non-freezing.
Oh.
So you got the code, we got to go down 4.5 feet typically. You might have to go down a little bit more, but it's usually about 4.5 feet.
Yeah. So
when you dig down that far, 4.5 feet, you dig another 3 feet or 3.5 feet, you've got a full serviceable space that you can utilize. There's no sense of going down that far and spending that money when you can add a little bit more. And that's what I believe way back generated the let's go down a few more feet and have space, right? So now when you go into Florida, which is on, basically water, the whole state is sitting on a pond of water, or the Gulf or whatever. You can't go down because you're hitting water. Arizona, the hard pan, the dig is so hard, it's so expensive, it's not cost efficient. So, the problem with basements here is you get water in them, and if you got to be careful about all of that, and you got to know what you're doing to manage that. And every single lot is different, So if there's a high water table, issues of potential groundwater from the water table, or surface water coming in because of the grade of the lot, or there's maybe a mountainous area and all this water's coming down, it's settling into your lot. You're going to know how to fix it in the beginning and build it right so that the issue, is mitigated to almost not being there at all. Ideally, you fixed it so you never have a water issue. But you can, you get a 100-year storm, and look what happened in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Those floodings, those homes aren't built to stand. I'm leaving the people and all that aside. I'm talking about the houses. Yeah. They're not built for that. Nobody's built anything for that.
Yeah.
So, they may make some adjustments going forward now, but There are, Mother Nature still rules. So I don't know if I'm answering your question about basements or not. But
Yeah, I get it. Like, if you're gonna, you might as well dig a little bit more and have a space to put something ugly,
whatever,
like
store
the
stuff,
heating system is ugly, the water heater is ugly. Let's get that out of the
put all the
way.
utilities down there. You have a storage cellar down there. You have
Yeah.
extra space. If you have enough to have a walkout where you can have open space, now you can have half open, and then you can convert it into a family room, a man cave,
Right.
whatever, a sewing room, or if anybody sews anymore.
Yeah. It's wild in the sewing rooms. It gets crazy sometimes. People sewing.
Yeah, I mean, people need space to do that. Some people, they have, I think I'm into music heavily. You put a nice little music studio down there, and that's where your band practices, down under the ground.
Yeah.
So I think the basements are, there's value in them.
But as far as I get you. Yeah. So it could go either way, but you're spending that money. Might as well just have a space.
That's the thing. I mean, unless you've got challenging ground conditions that may lead to a water issue. If you've got there's a lot of hod pan or ledge underneath where you're building, then it may make sense to build just slab on grade, because if you're going to go down 7.5 feet, 8 feet, you're going to get water because you're building it into the water table. So if you're building in the water table, you're going to get water. Eventually, it's going to water. You can't stop water.
Yeah.
You can hold it up a little, but water does
spit it out,
does.
and then eventually it comes
back. It may
back.
take 100 years for it to find its way in, but it will.
Yeah. So as a builder, what's the number one issue you run into when working with the homeowner?
If it's a custom home, I would say the biggest challenge, provided the money is there and there's a tight money and something happened or whatever, but it's making decisions on what they want. When you build a home with a husband and a wife, one wants this, one wants that. They don't want this. They want it's picking their colors, picking their fixtures, picking their flooring. It can be challenging in that respect, because some people know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Some people think they know what they want until they have to make their decisions. And that can be a challenge. It ultimately gets done, but it can cause delay. And, I had one homeowner. I have two funny stories. One homeowner, when we were coming to painting the house, we had literally 20 different shades of white, off-whites. The painter was ready. He goes, I'm out of here. I can't do this. And he was trying to please her. Oh, well, that's not the right one. And we put samples up on the wall so you can see it in the light and all that before you go ahead and get the sign. 20 different shades of white. White has different variances. Every color has variances.
Yeah.
It was and then I was finally and this is a very, very wealthy woman, you got to pick a color or I'm going to paint the house the color I like. And she goes, whatever color you want, paint it. And we went with the white that I liked, and she loved it.
Oh my God.
That's one story. Now, the funny story that my father tells, and this is just talking about people trying to understand, they don't really know what they want. My father was building a house when he was in his early 20s. And one of my aunts, who he was building a house for, his brother's wife, he was building a custom home. And they brought the toilets in, and she goes, that's not the toilet I ordered. That's not the right color. So the plumber happened to be an uncle. So it was all these family members, but my father was the general contractor. My uncle was the plumber, and we're building it. They were building, I wasn't even born. They were building it for another family member, my other uncle, my dad's brother, and his wife. So the toilet, she picks out this toilet, and she comes in and she says, that's not the right toilet. So my uncle Lou, his name is, he's passed now. He says, no, that's the toilet you picked. And she says, I'm telling you, that's not the right toilet. So he said, all right, toilets, a couple of, all right, I'll take them back and I'll see what the story is. He put him in his truck. He drove home, left him in the truck. The next morning he comes back. He said, I went and got the different toilets. Is this better? She goes, that's the toilet. I'm telling you, it was the same toilet.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So my father, and now,
because he knew her?
My father still laughs about it. He's 90, almost 94 years old. He still laughs telling the story.
Wow.
But to the point of the people don't really know what they want and think they want. And my aunt, at the time thought the toilet was the wrong color and it was the same exact toilet. And she goes, that's the one I was looking at. That's the one I was talking about. It's the same one that she said wasn't right.
When was this revealed to her eventually?
I really don't know. My father just shared this story with me recently. My father's 93 and still, building. He's got so many stories. And he shared that story and I laughed. Now, my uncle, who was the plumber, he's passed. My aunt and uncle have passed. Everybody's passed. My father's 93. He's the last one of them all left, basically. Yeah. But we were talking about different things and, homeowners.
He let out the secret. And he waited this long.
And he was laughing to this day. He was laughing his butt off. Something that happened 70 years ago. That's awesome. That's the challenge sometimes is people not really knowing what they want, I would say that's the biggest challenge. And it's them going through their own stresses of it.
Nowadays you can
and then the
bring
husband
out a
and the wife, and they start fighting. They start, I've had issues where I'm like, you see some, it's stressful for a lot of people.
It's like, I'm going to take a step away. I'll let you guys talk it through, and then I'll come back when you guys make a decision, because I don't want to see this.
I read somewhere, and I don't remember the exact number. I read somewhere there's 220-something thousand decisions to make to build one house.
Wow. I believe it.
So I don't know who calculated that, and I forgot where I read it. It wasn't long ago. It was maybe 6 months ago I read it, and I laughed because there's so many little decisions that go into build this one home.
Yeah.
So that's a lot on homeowners sometimes,
Yeah. Wow. So that's as far as the customer. What's the most challenging part of building a home besides the people?
From a builder's standpoint, it's getting all the trades to work together. It's a challenge sometimes where the plumber is complaining about the electrician and he's complaining about and it's just people. It's just dealing with managing people is the most challenging part. The materials are the materials, you get them, they show up, what needs to be done, but I would just say it's managing people.
Yeah, that's always a tough one with any business.
And every business. It's when you own a business, I have a friend of mine who has a big HVAC company, employs over 100 people, and we get together regularly and, we'll have a beer and, bite to eat and stuff. And he goes, I'm a full-time psychiatrist. All I do is hear everybody's, I got 100 people working for me. Wow. And every day somebody's got some new psychological issue. And he goes, I own this HVAC company, but I think I'm really a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Yeah.
Because he has to deal with people.
Yeah.
It's just dealing with people. In his case, employees plus his customers on the outside. You got that many employees, that's another challenge. So
you worked as an agent. How can an agent work with a builder? Like what to appease the builder and
I would just say one of the challenges that I've had with agents as a builder.
Besides the commission.
No, I'm talking about, the working part of it. Yeah, no, builders don't like to pay commissions.
I know.
That's a big challenge. But I would say that I don't know. I mean, it's just some agents, in my opinion, and I'm an agent as well, so I can speak, I think. Some agents get a little ahead of their skis in terms of what they're trying to show their customers what they do for their customers. And sometimes they push themselves into areas that they're really way out ahead of themselves, that they don't belong in. And from a builder standpoint, you could be trying to tell somebody something and the agent can get in the middle of it. Just stay out of it. When it comes to the building piece of it, stay out of it.
Yeah.
Even if you know how to build your own house as an agent, stay out, because you're not getting paid to build it.
Yeah.
So you're getting paid to sell it.
Yeah.
Stay in the selling lane and stay out of, throwing your 2 cents into the building piece of it. Now, unless the builder's a complete mess and it's an issue, then you got a bigger problem all the way around. But
and then last question is, how does a real estate agent find a reliable, a builder they can trust?
you just got to ask around. It's all based on someone's reputation. Ask around. If you get the name of, if you're going to start, you should always start with, unless you know somebody it's all about trust.
Yeah.
It's like anything else. It's relationship and trust. If you have a builder that you know and trust, you're way ahead of the game, If you got to go out and start and find an unknown builder, you got to ask around and learn about reputation and hear what people say about them. Not only what other customers, of course, is important, but also, what the tradesmen say. What does a plumber, an electrician, or a framer say about that contractor?
Oh, interesting.
What they like to do business with.
Yeah.
That can be helpful too.
Okay. So maybe asking them, who do you use anyways for the electrician or the or your plumber? And they say, and then you reach out to them, what's it like working with this builder?
Is
that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying if you're out looking to find builders, if you know an electrician, say, hey, do you know a good contractor? Did anybody you work for? Do you know of somebody?
Yeah.
Or I was just referred to this guy. Do you know anything about him? Oh, that guy's great. He's a great builder.
Okay.
He's there. He pays his bills. He's there on the job. He's accurate.
He pays me.
Right.
Right. Because that's integrity.
Right.
Paying.
Well, as if you hire a builder and he's not paying you're paying him and he's not paying his bills, you're responsible.
Yeah.
Because the lien is on the homeowner, not on the builder. It's on the property. So that's a piece of it. Also, of course, workmanship, quality. So everybody's got reputations out there. So, try to find the right somebody that's not easy either if you're starting from, you don't know anyone.
Interesting what you said about the lien. So if I'm a contractor and I bring in this electrician, plumber, and I don't pay them, they can put a lien.
So let's say you're my client. Now, you hired me to build a house.
Okay.
And you wrote me a check and I'm getting paid from the bank or from you or whatever to do this and that, and I'm paying, and I don't pay those trades. Yeah. You're liable. If I'm
liable, and those individuals
they'll put a lien on the property because ultimately the person responsible for the payment. I mean, for the person responsible, yes, for the payments for all the materials and labor is the person that owns the building, the piece of real estate.
Wow. So how do you avoid that?
You have lien releases. You get lien releases on payments, and it gets into a legal process. There's, so you got to be careful.
I think the contractor should be responsible.
They're not. Well, they are.
They should be.
Well, they are. They should be. Of course, they should be.
And
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if the contractor leaves town, if he's in the middle of and he you gave him $100,000 to do something, and then I'm the plumber and I went and did some work, and I'm the electrician, I did some work, and I can't find that contractor, I'm coming after you. I did the work in your house, on your property, it's yours.
Wow.
So even though you paid him that $100,000, you might have to pay another $100,000 for that same amount of work. So it's important that that's why I said it's important to find the contractors that have reputations, that are good.
Good stuff.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, I learned a lot today. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So how do people find you?
I'm not really looking for any new projects.
You have one coming up, though.
I
right?
do. I'm putting up a house. I build it on speculation. I build it. It's in Warwick. It's off of Diamond Hill Road area, Warwick. I don't really put it up for sale until it's almost finished, when it's, near, after all the plastering is done, the walls, and then around that time I stop putting it up for sale. So I'm kind of semi-retired now, haven't done this my whole life. I mentioned I mess around in the music business for fun, but as far as building goes, I'm really not looking for any new projects,
Okay.
I mean, if a family member, if my son wanted a house built, of course I'd build a house for him or with him,
Yeah.
my kids, and then I'll put this house up, sell it. I build a house every few years now because I'm kind of, I started when I was 9 years old, so
Wow.
10 years old in the business.
How about a plug for your music?
So I have a music company called Saraceno Music and Entertainment, or a music booking agency. We book, I bought into the company, and pretty much the majority owner of it now. The partner that started it. It's been in business since the early 1990s. And we book music all over Rhode Island, country clubs, hotels, bars, weddings, bar mitzvahs, whatever you need music for, we're available with Saraceno Music and Entertainment. So at this point in my life, music's always been my passion. That's my fun business.
Yeah.
I mean, it's full-time business. I'm working at it.
Yeah.
But I really am having a good time with it, because the building part of it, while I loved the building while I did it, it served me well in my life. I was able to raise my family nicely and all. This is I guess my next phase of, it's passion.
Yeah.
But we're full on busy.
Awesome.
I think I've got this coming week, we book all the bands at the St. Mary's Feast. I think I've got this week 20-something bands and musicians playing all over.
Wow.
This weekend.
Wow. That's amazing.
Every week's we got, a lot of stuff going.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we have we have big hotels that hire us to do whenever they need music for themselves or their clients, their customer, their corporate clients and stuff. Beach clubs, the well-known beach clubs here in Rhode Island. We book a lot of the music there.
That's great that you're able
Weddings.
to follow your passion and be able to.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked hard my whole life, and I'm in a position where I'm okay financially. I'm in a good place, and I can do now what I really love to do, and that's be with and around musicians and music.
Awesome.
And help people find the right music for what they're looking for, and get the right artist into the right, we say in the music business, the right gig, where the right music is being played for a corporate event or for a wedding, so if anybody needs music, I'm here. Saraceno Music and Entertainment.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by.
All right.
And
It's so fun.
Really appreciate
you having me.
My agent's got a squad, we all in the zone. In-house help, so they ain't doing it alone. They focus on clients, negotiating win, while the back end's handle, man, that's how we spin. I hand them business, watch them all climb.